President Abraham Lincoln signed the Homestead Act in 1862, the United States was growing fast, and they wanted to make use of the land west of the Mississippi. So that's what the Homestead Act did, was open up the surveyed areas west of the Mississippi, and those lands were available for anyone to make a claim on. You had to pay $18, be the equivalent of a little over $500 today, and that would give you claim to 160 acres. Of course, that came with the stipulation that you would go and live on that land for 5 years, and you'd improve it, presumably putting a house on there, farming it, or maybe putting some trees out in the middle of the prairie there. Even with the massive flood of people heading west, by 1900, the majority of the population in the United States lived in big cities. As the cities filled up, people wanted to get a nicer place outside of the city, someplace they could have their own, not an apartment or row house or something like that. The first suburban development was Levittown, Long Island, New York. It was 1947, and they bought up 7 square miles of potato and onion fields and planned a whole community to go down there. It wasn't too long before every major city had some ring of suburbs all around it. And the new highway systems, the national highway systems, they made it easy to get around the city or from the suburb into the city, whatever it was you wanted to do. So, yeah, America spread out. Big cities along the coast kind of grew into each other. You couldn't really tell where one city started and the other stopped. So the early suburbs were cute little neighborhoods, small houses for families that were just getting started, kind of designed specifically for the GIs coming back from World War II, and making what they were hoping would be an ideal community. And it was ideal for some, I suppose, and not for everyone, just like most places. This is probably sort of a 50s, 60s era suburb here. once the suburbs were established, the agricultural land around the cities started making another ring, which is called the exurb. From urban to suburban to exurban. So most cities have got a highway that runs through them, and then there's a bypass highway that goes around them. And oftentimes what you would call the city suburbs are what is encircled by those bypass highways. And then I think of the exurban areas as being what's on the outside of those bypass highways. So here we are on the edge of our urban sprawl. We're in an area here that was all agricultural fields. I don't know what they were growing in them, but this was all food production. And now it's being divided up and turned into residential housing. And I don't know if there's really if it's such a bad deal that we're building places for people to live on places that grew food. Because when it comes right down to it, a lot of our current industrial agriculture isn't all that good. It doesn't produce food that's often worth eating. The nutrition content of the foods produced in the United States has been dropping for decades now. So the cheapest land that I can find for sale at the moment is in Wyoming, and it's about $1,500 per acre. So if you had got your homestead 160 acres, even at the cheapest price in the U.S., that land would be worth $250,000 now. We're gonna show a couple of videos today. I found an old black and white Department of Agriculture propaganda video. It's kind of funny seeing the old videos talking up the modern agriculture and all of its chemicals. So I'll put that down in the lower level here, and upper corner is going to be a video of a young lady that's got a small house on a small lot and she grows hundreds of pounds of produce every year. She uses the permaculture planting method, which instead of just making one giant carpet of one crop, is a mixture of all types of different produce and using every available layer You've got the root layer, you've got the ground level layer, you've got the shrub layer, the tree layer, and then you've got the vines that can climb up all that stuff. So I'll be planting my own garden a little bit more like that in the future. It does take planning, and she'll tell you a little bit about that. Good video. Watch what she can do with her little property and think about what you could do with even just a little piece of the yard you've got. It's probably the best idea. Go intensive in an area, and then you've got that lawn still there if you want it. Good luck. Thanks for coming along on the ride.